How we urgently buried a training grenade to avoid shame in front of the general. There are moments in Army life when you realize that the phrase improvisation under pressure was invented specifically for soldiers. This is one of those stories, a tale of panic, quick thinking, and a grenade that almost became the reason for our entire platoon's collective demise, career-wise at least. It all happened during a routine inspection before a major exercise. Our battalion was preparing for a surprise visit from a high-ranking general, the kind of man who could end careers with a single disappointed glare. Everything had to be perfect: polished boots, immaculate uniforms, and most importantly, no screw-ups with equipment. Naturally, that's when Private Sokolov, let's call him that to protect the guilty, decided to borrow a training grenade from the storage room. Why? Because he thought it would be funny to scare the new guys during lunch. Classic Sokolov. The grenade, a harmless, bright orange F1 training model, was supposed to stay locked up, but Sokolov, in his infinite wisdom, forgot to return it. And now, with the general's convoy rolling into our base, the armory sergeant was doing a last-minute check. "Where the hell is grenade number 17? He barked. Sokolov turned whiter than a fresh conscript's bedsheets. If the general found out we'd lost military property, even a dummy one, our platoon would be scrubbing toilets with toothbrushes until the next ice age. The solution, or so we thought. That's when Corporal Petrov, our resident tactical genius, came up with a plan. We bury it. Right now. At first, we thought he was joking, but then we realized there was no time to return it. The general was minutes away. So like idiots, we grabbed shovels and sprinted behind the barracks. Picture this: 5 grown men in full combat gear, digging like frantic moles in broad daylight, while our lieutenant screamed into a radio, "They're at the gates! Hurry the hell up!" We shoved the grenade into the hole, kicked dirt over it, and even stomped it down to make it look natural. Sokolov, in a stroke of inspiration, threw a cigarette butt on top for camouflage. Just as we finished, the general's black Volga rolled into the compound. We snapped into salute, sweating like sinners in church. The aftermath. Miraculously, the inspection went smoothly until the general decided to take a walk around the barracks. And guess where he stopped? Right next to our freshly dug grave. He frowned at the disturbed soil, then at us. "What's this?" Petrov, without missing a beat. "Ant training, Comrade General. Tactical excavation exercise." The general stared. Then he nodded. "Good initiative," and walked away. We nearly passed out from relief. Later that night, we dug up the grenade and returned it like nothing happened. Sokolov bought us all vodka. The end. In the Army, sometimes the best solution is the dumbest one, as long as you sell it with confidence. And never let Sokolov near the armory again. P.S. The cigarette butt camouflage became a platoon inside joke. To this day, if someone asks how to hide something, the answer is, bury it and throw a smoke on top. Works every time. Don't shoot the sergeant. How I accidentally became a live target during training war games are supposed to simulate combat, but sometimes the simulation gets a little too real. This is one of those stories, a tale of negligence, sheer dumb luck, and the day I learned that the phrase friendly fire isn't just a metaphor. It was a standard live fire exercise at the range. Our platoon was running drills, advancing under cover, suppressing fire, all that good stuff. The officers had set up pop-up targets to simulate enemy positions, and we were supposed to take them down in controlled bursts. I was playing the role of hunt observer that day. Basically, the guy who hangs back, checks angles, and makes sure nobody does anything catastrophically stupid. Spoiler, I failed. Somewhere between the third and fourth firing line, I noticed one of the targets had gotten stuck in the upright position. Being the diligent soldier I was, I figured I'd go fix it without telling anyone. Big fucking mistake. I grabbed a spare vest, slapped a target patch on my chest, because apparently my brain had shut off, and started walking toward the malfunctioning silhouette. I was about 50 meters out when I heard the range officer shout, "Fire!" A split second later, crack, 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 bullets whizzed past me. At first, I thought it was just stray rounds. Then I realized they were aiming at me. I hit the dirt so fast my helmet spun. The ground around me kicked up dust as rounds impacted way too close for comfort. The range went silent after someone finally screamed, "Cease fire!" When I stood up shaking, half the platoon looked like they'd seen a ghost. The sergeant major's face was purple with rage. "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He roared. Turns out from a distance, my dumbass looked exactly like a target. And since I hadn't radioed in, nobody knew I was out there. Me, ass chewing of a lifetime, 3 weeks of latrine duty. The shooters. Extra safety training, and a few guilty beers bought for me later. The sergeant major. A new rule. If you see a moving target, confirm it's not a real person before you fucking shoot at it. 1. Always communicate. A simple radio call would have saved me from eating dirt. 2. Never assume. Just because something looks like a target doesn't mean it is. 3. The Army doesn't forgive stupidity, but if you survive it, you'll at least get a good story. P.S. To this day, my old unit jokes that I'm the only soldier who volunteered for live target practice. GPS versus radio. How our commander led us straight into a swamp and almost got us killed. Picture this. Minus 15 degrees Celsius at night. Your platoon has been marching through the woods for 6 fucking hours because your experienced officer swears he knows the way. Now add 3 meters of liquid mud, someone screaming, "It's not shit, it's fucking quicksand." And the moment when even the battalion's most hardened sergeant starts praying to God. Exercise. Zapad, 2017. They issued us brand new GPS units, sleek, color screens, the whole deal. Only problem, Lieutenant Karashev, name change but not by much, had been staring at his device for 3 days like a cow at a spaceship. It's just like a radio, but with maps. He kept yelling whenever the tech guy tried to explain the buttons. At 2300, our platoon was supposed to reach the enemy camp. Instead, after an hour of marching, we found ourselves knee-deep in a godforsaken swamp. "You sure we're going the right way?" the senior sergeant asked as the mud slowly swallowed his boots. "Positive." Karashev shook his GPS. "The coordinates are right here." Turns out he'd spent the last 40 minutes staring at the goddamn battery icon instead of the actual map. What followed was pure chaos. Private Ivanov sank waist deep and had to be pulled out by his rifle strap. Sergeant Petrov lost a boot to the swamp, then announced he'd rather die than go barefoot in this shit. The Lieutenant Ray, in a stroke of genius, tried to call for help. On the GPS. By the time command realized we were missing, we'd been stuck for for 4 hours. The rescue team found us, half frozen, covered in mud, Singing army chants. To stay awake and sane. The battalion commander's face when he saw us. Priceless. Lieutenant Karasyov spent the next month cleaning latrines. The GPS. Mysteriously, Shoryurs got lost during the next exercise. The swamp. Officially nicknamed Karasyov's bathtub by the regiment. 1. Technology is useless if the user is a moron. 2. When in doubt, assume your officer is wrong. 3. If you ever hear, it's just like a radio, but with maps. Imran. Peace. To this day, if someone in our unit gets lost, we just say, don't pull a Karashov.